Ask any Star Wars fan, who do you think is the best Star Wars character? Most people are gonna go with normie picks like Luke Skywalker or Han Solo or Obi-Wan Kenobi. Or if you're a nerd that needs more sunshine, you'll pick maybe Cal Kestis or Darth Raven. I am different though. After all, I'm the most based oil can man on the internet. Therefore, I choose the greatest Star Wars character as Admiral Firmus Piet, fleet leader of Darth Vader's Death Squadron.
Kedem Blue.
Hello fellow Jerry cans. I don't know if I have said this before, but The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie of all time. It's one of those movies where I call perfect and flawless. The acting from the actors are superb, the characters are lovable, there are so many great set pieces that still look good 40 years later, the drama is great, the banter between characters is well written, the story is dramatic and shocking, there is good humor, the romance pulls your heartstrings, the music is amazing. It's about as perfect as Tony Leung's face. That being said, no, I'm not going to review this movie today. Maybe I'll do that if I review all 9 films in the future. No, I want to talk about a minor part of this movie. Something you probably didn't notice watching the movie. And that is, well, I already talked about who it is. It's Admiral Piet. Today, I'll explain why Admiral Piet is the best Star Wars character, and possibly my favorite Star Wars character too. Part 1. The extra of the extra extras. There is a problem with both the Star Wars prequel and sequel trilogy that only the original trilogy doesn't have, and it's that memorable extras are non-existent. For the prequels, the only memorable extra might be maybe Kit Fisto because of him smiling during the Battle of Geonosis, and maybe Ki-Adi-Mundi because he's such a fucking idiot.
The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
I think the Count Dooku was behind it.
He is a political idealist, not a murderer.
All the rest of the Jedi in the Republic are stoic, boring assholes. And before you say stuff like, but I love Plo Koon or Shakti and they're good extras, please remember that I'm talking about just the movies here. All the boring asshole Jedis in the prequels became memorable through the spin-off material. And for the Confederates, all the extras are idiot droids, mostly comic relief.
Excuse me.
In the sequel trilogy, we have a similar problem too. All the extras for the Resistance are boring, gruff-looking people that are obviously actors that are acquaintances of J.J. Abrams. For the First Order, everyone is all comically angry and screaming all the time, so they're just annoying.
Puny ship is too small and to too close range. Would never held a lightsaber. You failed! Fire on that cruiser!
Ironically, the most memorable extra in all of the sequels was the Stormtrooper that shouted,
Raider!
And the Stormtrooper played by Daniel Craig cause he's James Bond.
I'll tighten those restraints.
So how did the original trilogy get this right? The OT is filled with many wonderful memorable extras like Wedge Antilles, Admiral Akbar, Mos Mothma, Bib Fortuna, and of course Boba Fett. But let's talk about the Imperial officer extras that appeared in the movies. In A New Hope, we had Tarkin as a character that represented the Empire's military who wasn't Darth Vader, so there wasn't really a need for a memorable Imperial officer extra. That all changed in The Empire Strikes Back when Tarkin was axed off and Darth Vader became the main baddie. Vader needed henchmen, or in this case, Imperial officers to react off of to show his character, and we got a bunch of them in the movie. What's amazing about Empire Strikes Back, even though it's a densely packed movie with many storylines going along, such as the rebellion escaping the Empire, Han Solo bonding with Princess Leia, Yoda teaching Luke about Jedi powers, Darth Vader going after Luke, it managed to fit in a subplot about Imperial officers aboard the Executor having an office politics battle. Never noticed it until now? Well, let's go scene by scene of the movie that has Piet and other officers in it, to see what happened in the perspective of the Empire, and to prove how Piet is the best Star Wars character. Part 2. Office Politics aboard the Executor. The first time we see the Empire is an iconic scene. After Han Solo blows up an Imperial probe droid, we cut to the shot of Imperial Star Destroyers flying around, and we hear the Imperial March for the first time by John Williams. We're then introduced to the Super Star Destroyer Executor, and the shadow it creates on other ships illustrate how fucking large this thing is, to show that the Empire is still in power even after their giant space ball got destroyed. Then we're introduced to our titular Imperial officers. Captain Piet reports to Admiral Ozzel that they discover something suspicious on Hoth.
I think we've got something, sir.
The report is only a fragment from a probe droid in the Hoth system, but it's the best lead we've had.
Admiral Ozzel scolds Captain Piet, saying that Hoth is a frozen wasteland like Canada, so there shouldn't be anyone living there.
We have thousands of probe droids searching the galaxy. I want proof, not leads.
Piet and Ozzel argue, and Darth Vader hears this and comes over to see what's up.
You found something?
Yes, my lord.
Admiral Ozzel, being a dumbass because he's a reincarnated Hitler, says that it's highly unlikely these are rebels.
My lord, there are so many uncharted settlements. It could be smugglers, it could...
But Vader insists it's the rebellion and orders them for the fleet to go to Hoth.
That is the system, and I'm sure Skywalker is with them. Set your course for the Hoth system.
And then something peculiar happens. After Vader and General Veers leave, we get this 2-second shot of Ozzel staring down Piet. Then Piet stares at him with pity or anger at Ozzel when Ozzel leaves. What did Ozzel mean by the look? Perhaps he's secretly messaging to Piet, "You better shut the fuck up, man. You made me look like an idiot in front of Lord Vader, and I rank higher than you. So watch yourself, Captain Piet. You better watch yourself, Earl." Well, if you're a true Star Wars fan, you know that.
In my book, experience outranks everything.
Well, that's what exactly happens next. The Imperials arrive on Hoth, and Admiral Ozzel makes a serious mistake of...
The rebels are alerted to our presence. Admiral Ozzel came out of light speed too close to the system.
He felt surprised, was wiser.
He is as clumsy as he is stupid.
Then we cut to one of the most iconic Vader scenes in the movie. Darth Vader Zoom calls Ozzel and Piet. Wait, where is this video feed coming from? I don't see a camera anywhere. Anyways, Vader informs him that Ozzel has
failed me for the last time, Admiral,
and kills him by force choking. Vader force choking and killing his henchmen anytime they fail is one of the most well-known aspects about him. It's parodied so much in pop culture, and he's choking Imperial officers left and right in spin-off material such as in the comics. But in the original movies, he only killed his own men in The Empire Strikes Back. In A New Hope, he killed the one rebel guy that wasn't an Imperial, and choked one Imperial officer to annoy him but not to kill him. In Return of the Jedi, he doesn't force choke anyone in the movie except for a deleted scene, and even then he didn't kill anyone. Anyways, my point is, there's a reason why Vader kills so many men in The Empire Strikes Back unlike other movies. It actually has a purpose by building up to something, which I'll explain later when we get to it. Let's get back to the movie. Ozzel gets killed by Vader, then Vader promotes Captain Piet to Admiral.
You are in command now, Admiral Piet.
Thank you, Lord Vader.
What interests me so much about this scene is Piet's reaction. At first, when he sees Ozzel getting killed, he's like scared, but when he hears the word Admiral, his expression turns into something that is akin to happy surprise. There is so much to gain from this reaction. Perhaps Piet has been mistreated by Admiral Ozzel all the time before the movie started for being more competent than him, and Piet is happy because he is finally getting some recognition from Boss Vader. Maybe he's thinking to himself, "Yay, I'm finally getting the title I deserve now." Whatever the case, man, I love episode 5 so much. The storytelling is so clever and well written, you can get so much out of simple expressions that last 3 seconds. Anyways, my point of analyzing these two scenes was to show how Admiral Piet adds character and humanity to the Empire. Admiral Piet seems to be a humble man that seems to have suffered from working under an asshole, incompetent senior, and anyone with work experience can relate to that kind of situation, right? The Galactic Empire in the last movie was a comically evil supervillain empire surrounded by Van Helsing and overacting British people.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Because A New Hope was a simple heroic movie about trying to blow up a giant space death machine. On the contrary, in this movie, the addition of Piet shows that not everyone in the Galactic Empire are evil maniacs. Yeah, he's serving an evil empire, but he seems like an honorable soldier. It also works with the theme of the ultimate twist of the movie where Vader turns out to have a soft side.
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Piet subtly adds a moral gray to Star Wars, which makes The Empire Strikes Back such a masterpiece of a movie. Moral gray as in, the evil empire is mostly consisted of soldiers who are just coldly doing their job because of duty or fear. The main antagonist, who seems to be pure evil, turns out to be family. The princess falls in love with the sleazy scoundrel. The traitor has a moral dilemma about his choices. The only other time this kind of storytelling worked in Star Wars was in the Mandalorian Season 2 episode starring Bill Burr.
Yeah, Empire, New Republic. It's all the same to these people.
Everybody thinks they want freedom.
But what they really want is order.
Rian Johnson tried to copy this in The Last Jedi and failed epically, but we're trying to praise the OT and not bash the sequel trilogy, so I won't talk about that more in this video. Part 3. Don't fail me again, Admiral. Anyways, let's get on with the movie, and we'll go much faster this time. Most of the rebellion managed to escape, including Luke Skywalker, so the Empire goes after the Millennium Falcon, who has a broken hyperdrive. Plug into other Gear and Blue video. Piet reports to Vader that the Falcon went into an asteroid field, and it's hard chasing after them. It shows that Piet is again human, because he seems to care about the welfare of the poor TIE fighter pilots.
Our ships have sighted the Millennium Falcon, Lord, but it has entered an asteroid field and we cannot risk...
Vader, being the asshole he is, tells him to shut the fuck up and go after the Falcon.
Asteroids do not concern me, Admiral. I want that ship, not excuses.
That Lord Vader was the last time they appeared in...
Oh, and did you notice the rank on Piet's uniform changed? That's a nice addition. Too bad Return of the Jedi's costume department forgot about it and fucked that up, but whatever. The next important scene we have is when the Falcon escapes Imperial radar detection by sticking on top of a Star Destroyer. Captain Needa, who was in charge of tracking the Falcon's apology gets accepted by Vader.
Apology accepted, Captain Needa.
That's a hell of an apology.
Admiral Piet reports that they lost track of the Falcon, and they must have escaped through hyperspace. Darth Vader is obviously very pissed off about this, orders more searching, and says the iconic line to Piet.
Don't fail me again, Admiral.
I love how James Earl Jones puts the emphasis on the word Admiral in his delivery, as if Vader is reminding Piet that, hey, I'm the one who made you Admiral, right? You better not fuck up again or else your neck is go zip. Boy, if I was Piet, I'll be crapping my pants right now. He can't fail Vader again. He has to deliver the Millennium Falcon as passengers or Luke Skywalker, or else he's dead meat. So let's skip to the end of the movie. After Vader does the confrontation with Luke on Bespin, Leia, Lando, and Luke flee Cloud City on the Millennium Falcon. Admiral Piet and his men had already made sure that the hyperdrive was not fixed, so they planned to capture the Falcon again with the tractor beam.
They'll be in range of our tractor beam in moments, Lord.
Did your men deactivate the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon?
Yes, my lord.
Good. Prepare the boarding party and set your weapons for stun.
But then, R2-D2 fixes the hyperdrive on the Falcon. Luke, who Darth Vader has been desperately trying to capture and convince to join him, finally escapes. Then we get to one of the greatest scenes in the entire movie. I like how the first person that reacts when the Falcon gets away is of course Piet. Kenneth Colley, the actor who portrays Piet, did a wonderful fucking job of acting out a face of absolute terror while remaining being composed since he's a soldier. Darth Vader doesn't say a word and starts walking away. I also love how it isn't just Piet that's terrified. Every single crew on the bridge is silent and staring at Vader because for all they know, he might start killing everyone on board with his lightsaber. But Vader doesn't do anything. He just walks away. He doesn't kill anyone. So the whole purpose of Vader killing officers in the movie was to show how desperate he was at capturing Luke and his friends. The movie built up him killing officers, but episode 5 subverts our expectations by Vader sparing Piet. Why did he not do anything after such an ominous warning? Maybe he's sad or frustrated. Probably the best explanation is that he's just sorely disappointed his son didn't join him, because he actually does love his son in a twisted way deep down his heart. And this very important aspect of Darth Vader caring about his son will be, of course, used effectively in the next movie.
Your thoughts betray you, Father. I feel the good in you. The conflict.
There is no conflict.
Which leads to the ultimate ending of Vader's character arc, saving his son and sacrificing himself in the end. And this character moment of Vader to show that he is human too was not possible without the help of your best Star Wars character, Admiral Piet, not dying. Part 4. Piet, you fool. Now the story of Admiral Piet doesn't end here because he appears in the next movie, making him the only Imperial officer to survive more than one film. A apparently according to Wikipedia, he was not going to be in the movie until fans sent mails to Lucasfilms to add him in. And good for them, because we get one final great scene with Piett in Return of the Jedi. Maybe that's why Piett in episode 6 does not have a big role in the movie. The main Imperial officer that is used in the movie is Moff Jerjerrod, aka Mr. We should double our efforts.
We shall double our efforts.
Admiral Piett in the movie doesn't have much scenes except during the final fight. And of course the classic meme line,
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out.
So let's talk about Piett in the Fall of the Empire. In episode 6, Piett is shown that he's still commanding the Executor, and the Executor takes part in the Battle of Endor. Now I want to ask you guys this. When watching Return of the Jedi, did you ever notice Admiral Piett is the last named Imperial character that gets defeated in the movie, instead of Vader or Palpatine? Yeah, so in the climax of the movie, Vader throws down Emperor Palpatine in a pit so he can be resurrected in a movie 35 years later with the power of lazy screenwriting and redeems himself. After that, we come to the battle outside of the Death Star. You know, even if the Emperor and Vader are dead, the Empire still controls shit ton of systems and has thousands of Imperial Star Destroyers, right? Killing the Emperor doesn't necessarily mean that the Rebellion has defeated the Empire. They could still come back. The scene that cements the fact that the Empire is really defeated by the Rebellion is probably the demise of Piett. The shield of the Executor's bridge gets destroyed during battle, and an A-Wing crashes into the bridge, killing Piett and his crew in probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
Intensify forward firepower! Too late!
Then the Executor crashes, plummets down towards the Death Star and explodes. This scene really makes it clear, yes, the Empire is dead, we killed the character that represents the Imperial soldiers, and we killed the most humane antagonist off. Hope that some director doesn't forcibly resurrect the Empire without a lick of sense in 30 years. Yeah, the second Death Star explosion happens after this, but that's a thing we've already seen and we'll keep seeing. I hope this video gave you guys a new perspective to the best Star Wars movie, The Empire Strikes Back. The reason I say Admiral Piett is the best Star Wars character is because even though he doesn't do much in the story, his presence alone gives the main antagonist so much character. Can't think of any other extra in Star Wars, or any blockbuster movie franchise for that matter, that fulfills this role. Piett's humanity inserts a moral gray into the movie, and his interactions with Darth Vader made Darth Vader an interesting character. So you may disagree he's the best Star Wars character, but you will have to admit, Piett is the best non-main Star Wars character. I've always liked honest, humane, side characters that are the everyman in pop culture media. I just like people that are famous for just doing their jobs honestly and competently. That's why out of the entire Batman mythos, my favorite character is not Batman or Joker or Batgirl or Nightwing's left ass cheek. My favorite Batman character is Gotham Police Commissioner James Gordon for being the honest everyman that helps Batman. No matter how crazy the story or the heroes might be, there should be a character that is grounded and human, and James Gordon and Admiral Piett serves that. And for that reason, I love you, Admiral Piett. May you rest in peace above the skies of Endor. Well, before we end the video, I'll just like to point out this funny extra that's hilarious. When Vader leaves the bridge of the Executor at the end of the 5th movie, there's a guy who's using a tablet or something. I find it really fucking funny that he keeps scribbling and pretends to be busy and never looks up when Vader is passing by him, and only looks behind after Vader leaves. This man might be a time traveler from the 21st century that snuck in the set of Empire with an iPad. That's me on my phone when my dad walks away after having a fight with my mom. Oh, by the way, now that I've started this movie focused channel, I'll make videos that aren't just about Star Wars. So in that note, the next video's topic will be why a certain Marvel Cinematic Universe character sucks, which won't be a controversial opinion at all.